everyone, and welcome to Money with Soul. My name is Amy, I'm your host, and I'm excited. We're back on the couch to have a conversation about money with soul, changing the way we think and manage our money into a new way. And it's no different today. So we're on this journey about exploring our alignment quadrants as part of the soul money map. And I wanted to go back a step and sort of introduce something that I haven't introduced, I don't think, about our money value types. I was catching up with a friend today and we were talking about this and just chatting about the way that we think about money and our lifestyle. So when we think about what's important, we often think about like our top 5 values, which is really great. So I don't know if everyone does this work, or it's just me because I love it. But as a family, I like to think that you choose sort of the family values, and as parents, that we are here to help navigate our children through life by learning about values and what's important, so that they can go out into the world and embody those family values, or in their own way, or choose their own if that's what they want to do. But I think that when we think about parenting, and I don't know why, this is just what's coming up for me at the moment, because when you are growing little humans into the world, as a parent, I just find that it's easy to get caught into this personal trap, like where you take things personally. Like if there's a challenge, it's sort of like you will take that as a personal reflection of you. And in parenting, it's almost like you are you as a parent, but you're also you as a person. And I feel as though parenting is one of the most challenging, evolving processes that you can go on, because they say, children won't always do what you say, but they will always do as you do. So you are setting the tone for them as humans in this life through your own self. And if you show up as your own self, and you're authentic and you're honest, and you have the values that you're trying to teach, and you embody those, they're going to absorb those. They sort of absorb them into their world, because that's how the energy of something works. And it's very hard when there's challenges in your parenting or in your kids' lives, and you feel as though it's a reflection of who you are. But it's also that there's learnings and things that come up as a parent that is you evolving, and that process teaching you. And we've talked about these values being a way to anchor back into teaching that is not, I just do what I say. It's also, look, these are the values we hold as a family, and it's important for you to understand that we operate with these values, but we have to also embody them, and we have to be authentic to those, and we sort of serve those values as a family. And so it's a way to create boundaries that align to the family values, and then the boundaries are easier to teach and enforce, because they come from a place of broader community than, you know what, I'm your parent, I'm telling you to do this, and therefore you do that. And so when we came into this soul money lifestyle and I've always created a sense of what's important, what are our values, how do we build a lifestyle that is aligned to the values that are important. We started with like 100 values of money values. And then from there, we sort of grouped them down into 8 key profiles. And that's how we came up with our soul money value types, which are just a profile that embodies certain types of values. And so they're sort of to help when someone's looking at, well, what's important to me in my life? It's a way to sort of help look at, well, here's some opportunities. If you're falling into these value types, these might be some of the challenges that you have. These might be some of the opportunities you have to grow and learn. And so as part of the Soul Money course, it's teaching and opening people's awareness to ways to overcome some of those challenges, and also identify some of those strengths in our lives, because we all have different strengths and we all have different challenges, but we can assimilate with other people. And so that's where the value type came from. But I went through that journey, and I think I've probably shared this before, when someone was doing the quiz that I created around the money value types. So they're like, yeah, that's all good, but I'm not aligned to this in my life. And so this alignment question sort of came, and we started to think about the values on this quadrant of, you have high identity, so you know what's important, but are you aligned into that? And so this alignment is a quadrant of, are you integrated into your values? Are you aspirational and know what they are but not living them? And then this third quadrant, which is functional, which is, you're doing life and but you're not really sure where you sit. So there's a sense of this overwhelm, because even though you might be paying your bills, you might be steady, you might be responsible, and you've got everything sorted, you're sort of like not sitting in this high identity and aliveness in what's important to you. And so when you're in this quadrant, it can feel a little bit like, that day-to-day grind. And that can really start to drain our energy when we're feeling not connected into what we're trying to achieve. And it can be easy in this place when you've maybe, you've got your life, you've learned how to survive, you might have, you become responsible, but you're just not sure what it's all for. And to design a life that feels alive and free is sort of like that money values question. So in this functional space, it's coming back to finding what's really important to me in my lifestyle right now, and looking at the design of what's important, and so that you can reconnect into, and I feel as though in life we will have these moments because our identity changes as we change. So as a mum of small children, there's this identity of like, life is busy and there's lots on, and I'm very connected into my family, and it's all about our little family right now. We've got 2 little humans, and we're very much and I was just chatting with someone about this today. We're very much wanting to be at home, and we've got the farm, and we're creating this beautiful home and connecting to the land and doing all that. That's our money values in terms of our lifestyle values. And what's important to me right now is flexibility with time, and the ability to work where I can fit it in, and where my being in charge of my time is really important, and have that flexibility. But I was talking to someone who, they've got older kids, and they've got a lot more freedom of that side of things, and they've set up and more established and in their home space, and so they're really seeking travel and adventure, and so that's seeking of experiences and wanting that, and coming into that place of wanting to now redefine what's important, because things have shifted. So if we're back going and doing what was important yesterday, because that's where our life was, we will get to a point of being in that functional place where it's time for us to go, okay, hang on a second. We're just on autopilot here. Yes, things are ticking over, things are going great, but we're not really connected. And it's maybe that time to go, okay, we need to reconnect into what are our lifestyle goals now, and what is the vision for our life now. Things might have changed, but it also might just be, we haven't looked up, we've just been head down, bum up, doing life, being really busy, and then all of a sudden it's like, hang on, what is it all about? So in this quadrant, it's almost like the loss of heart there. It's a time to get back connected into, well, what is it here? What am I actually trying to create? Don't just keep going and going and going. It's coming back into, well, let's clarify what matters. The money value type is a helpful way to identify where you are now in your lifestyle and what's important. And it might feel a little bit overwhelming of where to take because in this place, it's like that next step. It's like, well, what is the next step? Like you might be feeling like, what is the next step? Because that clarity is not there of what our vision is. So if you're feeling in this place, if we're find yourself in this functional space and that grind and that autopilot, it's an opportunity to just stop and reconnect your money and into the energy of what your lifestyle that you're trying to create, revisioning your life and clarifying what really matters, and doing that in a way that is not necessarily changing what you're doing per se, but it's just identifying where you could be leaning into more, whether that's more travel, whether that's creating different goals, it could be learning a new thing. I often think a big part, especially as a mother, as a parent, is looking at what creates wonder in your life. So the 4 areas of fulfillment in the soul money map, we look at fulfillment as the measure rather than happiness, because happiness is often tied to like outcomes. Fulfillment is where is life fulfilling and where is life feeling draining. And that's something that is really a good way in this space. Just look at, well, where am I needing to lean into more? Wonder is that place of where do we feel in awe of life? I often love that early morning time, and I live out in the hinterland. So now the early mornings on my deck, looking out at the sunrise over the mountains, it's just like a magical moment. And we all have those in our life. And so where is that for you? Where is that connection for you? And so I hope that's been a good conversation today. I'm, super keen to hear from people in this space, from people in maybe one of the other quadrants that we've covered. And I look forward to covering the last one next week, which is the disoriented quadrant, and seeing what that looks like to complete our 4 alignment quadrants. So have an awesome week, and we'll chat soon.